Today we'll be going over the operation of a T3011DX keyloader. This keyloader is one of many in the T3000 series of keyloaders and is also the final revision of the T3011 family. This keyloader is meant for loading DES and dvi-xl equipment and is also compatible with Asher equipment as stated by the DX revision. Other keyloaders in this series include the T3010, which is for DVP, the T3012 and T3013, which is for dvi-xl, the T3014, which is meant for dvp-xl, and the earlier T3020, which is DES only. To operate the keyloader, first you press the on button to turn it on. It'll stay busy, and it'll drop you into the last menu you had selected. Right now, we are in the top of a menu. If you had a password, it would ask you for your password now before it would let you go into any other menu. You would type your password, hit enter, and you'd be dropped into the same screen that we are here. Right now, we are on the top of a menu, and it's asking us if we want to load, group load, share, ASN, or cal. To advance, you hit the sequential key. To drop into a menu, you hit enter. To back out of a menu, you hit enter. You hit enter again. Now we're back in our load menu. You can see this is our key number, and this is indicating if the key is ready to be loaded or if it's erased. If I go to this slot, for example, you can see it's erased. You can store up to 16 traffic keys and 16 shadow keys in this key loader. To get access to your shadow keys, first you hit F, and then you hit sequential. And now it looks like it says 50. It says S0. This is your shadow keys. To get back to your traffic keys, you do the same thing, F and sequential, and you are back in your traffic keys. To clear a key, you hit clear, and you hit enter. The key is now erased. This is all stored in an EEPROM, so it is non-volatile, which means you won't lose your keys if you take the battery out. To load a key into the key loader, you hit load. It'll ask you for 8 bytes in 2-byte sets. It has to be odd parity. I'm going to load in the test key of 70, 70, 70, 70, 70, 70, 70, 70. I'm going to hit enter. Now it's asking me for an ID. If you have an older non-ASN keyloader, it probably will not ask you for this, but since this is an ASN keyloader, it will. We're going to go ahead and put in an ID of 0001. And we're going to hit enter. And now our key is ready to be loaded. By pressing the key number of the current key selected on the screen, you can see the key's ID. You cannot read the key out of the key loader. To load a key, you press the transfer switch on the side. A little beep will come out of the radio, and that means that the key passed because it's sending encrypted signal down the wire into the radio through the secure circuitry and finally out the speaker. If you hear that tone, that means the key worked and it said pass on the display. Older revisions may not support this. It may only ask you if you heard a beep, in which case it'll say beep ? To back out of this menu, you hit enter. Let's go ahead and take a look at the group load options. Group load here. We're going to hit enter. You can see we can have up to 3 slots, or 4 slots, excuse me. To change a slot, you hit load. You can see this one I have pretty much going straight across the board, except this one, which has an algo that is not supported by this keyloader, so I have it not to change that key. And this, you send it to your shadow key, to your common shadow key, and that's that. In group 1, I have it zeroize all keys. To get this little stack symbol, which stands for zeroize, first you got to hit clear and you got to press 0 at the same time. And now you got the stack symbol. If you want to back out, you hit clear twice also, and it'll ask you no change, and you hit enter. The share option is for sharing with another KVL. I do not have another KVL to share with, so I cannot demonstrate this. The ASN mode is meant for connecting to a key management controller. You can either do it over the phone or via a direct RS-232 connection. And cal is for calibrate. This will load a dvi-xl equipped piece of equipment with a 1000 hertz tone when placed in secure operation mode, just for adjusting your deviation to 4 kilohertz. This is just so that way your SECURENET is at proper deviation levels and it will work perfectly. You can see on, and when it gives you a menu like this, you either hit the on or the off button. If you're trying to load a key, let's say I want to load a group into this radio, since this is not an ASN module installed in this radio, this will fail by default because group loading requires ASN mode. You hit push to transfer. Oh, you push to transfer and it says fail. Well, why did it fail? Well, aside from the obvious, you can go ahead, you can press the on button and you hold it down and it'll tell you what went wrong. It'll tell you it's trying to load in ASN mode and it's error number 12. And you go ahead and you look this up in the manual and it'll tell you what probably went wrong. Now, this is very obvious. This is meant for if you're trying to load the correct thing into the correct module and it fails. If you have a model mismatch, it's pretty much you're on your own. So, and if it was saying if we had just a plain DES module, it would say CFB, and it would be 8 dB if it was trying to load dvi-xl. To get into the configuration menu of the Keyloader, first you turn it off, you hold C, and you turn it on. The configuration menu allows you to enter the unique shadow key for the Keyloader itself. This is for if the Keyloader loses all the keys in the EEPROM and it has to connect to a key management controller, it can do so over an encrypted connection. It'll also let you set the MDC ID of the Keyloader. To get back to your normal menu, you hit off and on. And you cannot access the configuration menu while you have the lock enabled. To enable or disable the lock, you hit lock and you hit on or off. To load your lock key, you hit load and it'll ask you for up to 16 digits in odd parity. If you want to back out, you hit no change. And you back out of this, you just hit enter. To get into the self-test menu, you press 0 and 3 at the same time. You press the PTT switch. To get into the secret Easter egg menu, which is kind of more like a diag, or I don't know what you want to call it, you press C and F at the same time that you press PTT. And it'll let you do some funky things with the, it'll let you play around with tones over the encrypted connection. So it's kind of weird. So that's pretty much it. That goes about this Keyloader. As you can hear that one little beep there, after 45 seconds, this thing will time out. And it'll give you a little warning beep. And after 5 more seconds, it will shut off, just to save battery. And to make sure that in case you set it down, nobody's gonna, especially if you have the lock code enabled, nobody's gonna come by and try and steal your keys. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna load key 0 back into the Saber, and it passed. You can see here if I press it on, CFB stands for cipher feedback, and 00 means there is no error. So that's pretty much it for the T3011 Keyloader. This could probably be applied to the rest of the Keyloaders in the series, at least some of it can. And that should be it. If you want to see more videos like this, please let me know. And if I missed anything that you know of, also please let me know. Otherwise then, that's it. And you guys have a good day. Goodbye.